Like, considering, like, you play as a guy who is literally a fucking merchant, and you do stuff as a merchant.
Yeah.
Like, you sell to other people who just come along, and, like, it really is
What
an
are you
interesting thing. Yeah.
What
like,
are you selling?
It's like,
He's also a treasure hunter.
yeah,
which
it's
is awesome.
It's fucking sweet.
Yeah.
It's like a big fat guy that's like going and slaughtering enemies by the thousands.
By
'cause he's
himself.
yeah.
Oh yeah, the thing within gameplay.
Because he's a
divulging
fucking
here.
god.
We'll get
just
there.
like
Like
Ragnar.
3 times, the 3 times I used him, I literally would trip with him, and he'd hit for a critical attack. I thought, okay, normally when something like that happens, it says, oh, he missed. But for some reason, every time that Tornico tripped, I landed a critical hit.
'cause
I'm
he's a
like, the
god.
RNG, he is a god here. What happened?
Dude, he's
And
like
then he stopped doing it, and then I kicked him out of the party.
He's like the luckiest person on the planet. Who knows? But
because
like,
Ragnar entered the picture.
Ragnar is fucking
Ragnar's
sweet.
awesome.
So,
But yeah, you know that whole thing with Tornico. Fucking goddamn, I hate that name. It's just awesome. Like I really loved his entire chapter.
yep.
And you know, even like the Elena stuff was kind of interesting. Loved the Ragnar bit at the very beginning. Although I kind of wish there was more with him and
Yeah.
Healy.
Yep.
Like the Adventures of Ragnar and Healy. But,
Yes. Yes.
which would be an awesome show if they totally did that. And honestly, this game is like, I'm like considering Torneco just like outside of the podcast.
Oh, hell yeah.
In case people like actually want us to play it with their possible Patreon goal for it, because I'm like, you know what? Maybe it could be an okay game, but I really like Tornico.
The character, yes.
If it's similar to that chapter, then yeah, that would be a cool game.
Yeah, like I mean, one of the coolest things about like Fable was being able to just buy properties and like being able to rake in the money from them. So it's like,
Landlord.
so if you were to like,
Slumlord.
if you were to have like a character, like a game that was basically like, hey, you play as a merchant guy and you can like basically take over
Wouldn't
the
that-
world with money. Wouldn't that be like the fucking sweetest thing in the
Wouldn't
world?
that be
And
like
that's,
any sim
exactly-
game? I'm recalling like Sim City and Roller Coaster Tycoon. I mean, wouldn't that be the case?
Well, he can fight too.
It's kind of like that, but yeah.
Oh, I
but
fight too
like,
by drowning people in my park.
That's different though. Like you can actually be like the merchant guy who
Block them
fucking, like,
off and just drown them one
who
by
does
one.
whatever the fuck he wants.
You can be an explorer too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just really fucking love that. I love that
He'll sniff his nose for treasure, and he'll tell you how many treasure chests are roaming around.
Yeah, he's
He'll
like, I
praise it.
know. Yeah, he's a beast, man. He knows his money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I enjoy all of the stuff that happens throughout the chapters. I like that that Sorrow is mentioned like everywhere.
Yep.
You just know that this is the bad guy. Like there's no like, even when it has like the ball sack dude or like the whatever his name is, the Estark is the monster lord, like they're not the bad guys.
Yeah, you never get implied that there's going to be another guy like swooping in and being all of a sudden the person of interest.
Yeah.
In like a bossception type of way. You know that Sorrow is the main dude you're going to fuck up at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So it doesn't throw you a curveball like that.
Yeah, it really is great. I fucking love it.
Yes.
I enjoy the story a lot.
Same here.
Yeah.
And the one thing I will add is the character development goes way better than 3.
Oh yeah.
The one problem that I had with 3, as opposed to here with 4, is that they're nothings.
Mhm.
I know it's the prequel to the entire
mercenaries.
thing. They're just random mercenaries. So you literally, they are throwaway people. You kamikaze them. You have them self-destruct for your own means and ends.
Yeah.
You just say fuck it. And this, every
Oh,
single
yeah.
character has an importance. Even though I don't like the old man and Alina's chapter, and I think Maya and
Boria
Nina,
or whatever his name
Boria,
is.
yeah,
Yeah.
are pointless. They all still serve a purpose, and you learn about them, and they actually have depth and purpose in the story.
Yeah, they have like an actual connection to the characters that they're with too. Like it's not just like, oh hey, he has like a minor personality and he's just there. It's
Sure,
like
the hero doesn't have as much depth, but the cast of characters is what's more important.
well,
Yeah,
the hero is supposed to be kind of you anyway. It's
Right,
he's
right,
a
that's
blank
the-
slate kind of
So
character.
yeah,
And you know that's something that I was talking to somebody earlier about was like characters that are mute in video games.
Mhm.
You know, it's like it's something that's not done very well, I think, when there's like voice acting around them and then they just say nothing and then it's like and then they react to it. It's kind of jarring in a way. Like it's not necessarily a super detractor. Like it's not super bad in like Legend of Zelda, like in Breath of the Wild where they actually have voice acting. Though sometimes it kind of feels like Link should say fucking something.
Yeah, it does.
But and then like Persona 5, I really enjoy that game as well. But that game also has that sort of problem where it's like you're supposed to be the character and your character does have a voice in some cutscenes, but like
It's
for
weird
the
when
most
that
part he
happens.
says nothing.
It's weird
So-
when he talks.
Yeah, it's weird when he talks because
kind of shocking.
Like you pick what he says, but then he never says anything because
Yeah.
it's supposed to be you, and they react to it, and it's like, well, okay, but like it feels like there should be more. That you should have a voice or whatever,
Right.
and in games like this, where it's just it leaves it blank for you because there's no voice acting, then there's no point. Like it doesn't detract from anything because it's not as jarring that you're not saying anything and they're just responding to it.
right.
I
So
really like that.
So I think the time that this game came out helps lead that to being a lot better
Yeah,
than what it would be in a modern game with something with voice acting.
yeah,
So
Yeah,
I
I
think
agree.
it's best made at the time that that it was made and not something later on.
yeah. Basically, stuff with like because some games do it well, others it's like it's okay, but it's not. It feels weird, you know.
Right.
Like the older Legend of Zeldas, it's perfect, fucking perfect. It doesn't matter if Link says nothing because other people will just talk at him. Like,
Right.
they don't expect a response from him; they just talk
Yeah.
at him.
Yeah.
And it's kind of that way in this.
Yeah.
There's no really
For-
anything that they're expecting you to say. It just happens.
Right, yeah. So for all four of the Dragon Quest games, I've got that feeling, and I've had no problem with it as being the hero.
It's
in
one of
each
the
them.
great reasons. It's one of the reasons that I still love Dragon Quest 1 is because
Oh,
like
yes.
Dragon Quest 1 is basically perfect in every way outside of like it's pretty
dated
grindy.
systems.
Dated
Yeah.
systems a little bit, but it's still pretty grindy, and like that's
Yeah.
probably my biggest detractor. Other than I just fucking love that game because like it's the simple story of it. The character is. It doesn't matter if he's silent or not because people just talk at you, and he doesn't have to. There's no response necessary except for like the final one where he asks if you want to join the Dragon Lord or not. And then it just like, and that's like an epic thing that they just give you the choice. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a very pure game, I would say,
Yeah.
in that regard.
And I feel
Any further thoughts, Dylan?
No
And
further
your-
thoughts.
No further thoughts.
Yeah,
You don't
just,
have anything to say.
Craig
Okay.
summed it
It's
up
a
pretty
good
nicely.
story. I enjoyed it. It's more in depth than the other ones by far. The
Yeah.
backstory
Yeah,
is
definitely.
great. I don't mind that the main character is kind of a blank slate. Like,
Yeah, it doesn't
You're
feel like a
supposed to be
detractor
him.
in this one. Yeah.
but he does have a backstory.
Yeah, he does. And it's cool that it allows you to choose whether you're female or male.
Yeah. I did like his backstory, where he's like a mix of human and like angel.
Yeah, that was kind of odd.
It was
Because it's
surprising.
like they're also like dragon people up
They
or
are.
something, and they're
Yeah.
angels. It's like so they're dragon angel people,
Mhm.
and then he's like a dragon angel human person. And
Yeah.
you kind of like, and you kind of know right off the bat because
He's
of,
part
like,
angel,
the
part
headpiece
part
that he's
human.
wearing.
Dragon
Yep.
angel, human.
That's why he's able to equip those Zenith equipment.
Yeah,
So it makes sense.
yeah.
It fits in well.
It fits well. Yeah, it's
fits the
cool.
theme of the game.
It kind of goes along with Dragon Quest 1 again, because it's like, hey, you have to find the special armor and the hero's sword and to defeat the Dragon Lord, which
Also in 2, but it's way more tedious in 2.
yeah, it is way more.
Oh, hi there. I hope you enjoyed this clip from Puff Puff Hour, a Dragon Quest podcast. If you happen to like what you see, you should subscribe. We have full podcast episodes detailing the main series of Dragon Quest 1 through 11. Oh yeah, and if you like the content, you should check out our other shows from All Out Geekdom Entertainment. We have Nude Clan and Ultima Final Fantasy, the ultimate Final Fantasy podcast. Or, Dragon Quest.